Hello everyone, welcome back to Octopath Traveler with KeyQuest. We are wrapping up our, what's it? We're wrapping up Chapter 2 of, Ulbricht's, Chapter 2. Brain. For some reason I had a little bit of a oopsies, I couldn't think right. Anyways, we're finishing it up. We just finished off the battle with Gustav as the previous episode. Take a look if you'd like. It's in the playlist. Anyways, we're gonna now finish up, read up the story, and then do that stuff, and then we can move on to chapter 3s. Maybe some grinding. I don't know. See what we got. Spike shield and Gustav. I got another Gustav shield. Useful.
Damn it!
Curse my blade, but victory is yours.
We have a winner!
He yields all the unending blade. A new king of the arena is crowned. 3 cheers for Ulbricht Eisenberg. Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
Whoa!
Did you see that, lads?
That's it!
The Black Knight fought bravely, but the unending blade won the day. He won! He did it! You see that, Ned? He won! Of course I did. I saw every blow land, and my own wounds start. My own wounds ached just watching.
Well played.
A good fight, sir.
Agreed.
I was no shame losing like you.
Is it so?
On another day, you could have been the victor.
So...
I may have, but today is your day. I'll keep my word. When you're ready, come by my room at the inn, and I'll let you know what I know.
As you wish.
I'll see you anon. Hooray, hurrah.
Gather round!
Everyone's cheering and chatting. And Cicely looks exuberated? Fairly happy. The bards will sing the duel for years to come. All hail the new king. I won, but I'm no closer to understanding why I wield my blade. Well, there's lots of reasons you wield your blade, I'm sure. It's not just one. It's a compound effect of wielding your blade. Many reasons. Many knights in ancient times wielded blades for many different reasons. Reasons that family, lovers, honor, all those things. All those things rolled into one. I'm sure Ulbricht is really no different. He probably has many reasons to wield his blade, and many reasons to, in fact, do these things. Maybe he wants to avenge his lord. Maybe he wants to go ahead and make amends for what happened in the past. Maybe he wants to tell that little boy who, from the Stone Mountains, that I went back and I took care of business that needed to happen. Maybe it's just time for him to go, to recede. Who knows? There's lots of reasons to do things that people do. Knights, guards, police, those kinds of things.
Ah, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. A deal's a deal. You want to find Earhart, and I'll honor my side of the bargain. But let's take it slow. There's much we have to talk about, you and I.
If you say so. But what about?
Sir Earhart, of course, and what I know of him.
I'm listening.
Maybe to Gustav, his betrayal is a surprise as well. Maybe there's something else that they don't know. Maybe his lord wasn't so... Well, even if he wasn't the greatest lord, it's still his job, so he sees it as that way, probably. I mean, most lords have sneaky bad things going on in the background,
Now, where to begin? Tell me, Sir Ulbricht, are you familiar with the land from which Sir Erhard hailed?
You know, Erdhart, or actually, in fact, Gustav reminds me a lot of Guts from Berserk. And the fact that he's Gustav the Black Knight, and it's just the name, and then, like, the armoring, stylization, at least in the thing here, then Einhart and Betrayal and stuff like that, and striking down, striking down Ulbrich. This most definitely feels very... Oh, what's the guy's name from the anime? Matter. Point is, I think it's a similar kind of storyline, but one that's not quite the same, because obviously Ulbrich isn't obsessed with revenge.
Some border town in the far reaches of Hornburg. Or so he once told me.
Although, you know, they're very different stories in that they're extremities, and why Guts wants, you know, he wants to have his revenge for things. Very obvious. It's a very different story.
Aye. A peaceful village called Grind. At least it was till it was razed in the war.
Very common. Especially, well, common in older developed or lesser developed countries and places that are from olden times, because kind of things spilled off, you know. Even in towns were affected oftentimes.
'Twas long before Lord Erhard became a knight that he lost his home. After that, he joined a band of sellswords for a spell. It was there he got an idea in his head.
To become king.
And so he finally came to serve Hornburg and the crown. As a spy.
Ooh.
Oh, preposterous. You mean to tell me that Erhard meant to betray us all along?
Why not?
His eyes always burned with fire when he told the tale. The king of Hornburg turned his back on us, he'd said, and sat on his ass as our homes burned.
Yep.
Nonsense. King Alfred cared for all his subjects. He would never...
Lord Erhard claimed otherwise. Either way, he was a man on a mission.
Gustav is kind of just telling the mission of, you know, he can't say anything, and it's very hard as a king. You know, I'm not sympathetic to the king, but it's very hard as a king to try to take care of all of your subjects, and oftentimes people fall through, and there's just not a lot you can do. I mean, that's part of the problem with the huge centralized government, you know? A lot of the lesser people have problems, but it's either near or there.
If that's true, that means he'd been plotting the downfall of Hornburg for years.
Centuries, even.
Revenge is made all the sweeter by the passage of time. How sweet it must have been for him when Hornburg fell at last.
So I'm guessing Hornburg no longer exists? I guess? Seems like, for me. There's no longer Hornburg? Or is it another continent? Or is it one of the current kingdoms that went by a different name? Curious. Most curious.
I don't pretend to admire his deeds, nor claim they are honorable.
This guy's voice actor is kind of nasally. It's not so bad, though.
Then, I've never known the pain and anguish Sir Erhard was forced to bear.
Unlike the other Guts. The Black Knight.
Though I wonder sometimes how it made him feel to see justice done. If winning his revenge put his heart at ease.
Oftentimes it doesn't. After you have your revenge, sure, it felt good at the time, but there's not much afterwards he could have done instead of just destroying Hornburg, because there's a lot of problems when you have a kingdom fall like that. You have all of a sudden a lot of fighting from the nobles, and you have a lot of people who are then cast into chaos because people had to live there, and you know, they had to have to try to find a new land, or in comes a new lord. It could have been much worse. Could be better. Could be much worse, though. You don't just overthrow something unless it's really completely broken. like that, or obviously conquering it for war, but it could actually cause much more trouble. In fact, he should have been, instead of taking revenge, would have been probably better if he had tried to change it from within. You know?
I never asked him, and he never told me. But of all the men in this world, I'm happy to tell you.
You look up to the man, don't you?
He taught me to be a true warrior. And I dare say he was a friend as well.
I mean, this is one of those points that you may not like what he does, but what he standed for was good. You know, what he did was wrong. Or he, you know, maybe you do agree with it, maybe you don't agree with it, but his notions, his ideals and everything like that were great. Or something of to admire.
I know of little else but the ways of battle. Whatever his sins might have been, I was proud to call him a brother.
And, you know, that oftentimes happens. Even a lot of generals from the past, when they had a tough time, they would admire their opponents and say, wow, these guys are really good. What can I learn from them? What can I take from them? What can I make better? So oftentimes it's like, in a battle, you're trying to learn off of each other, and you can't just be full of complete and utter. I mean, you can dislike them and just like want to destroy them, but you have to change based on what's going on. You know. You know.
As was I. Thank you.
Happy to have the company and a willing ear. You'll find Sir Erhard in the desert town of Wellspring. When you do, well, I trust you'll do what's right.
Even if that means I slay him? Your friend, your mentor, your brother?
If that is what you believe he deserves, I reckon he'll accept his fate. And so will I.
Whatever the cause he fought for, it does not excuse his deeds. He slew the king he had taken a sworn oath to protect. I will listen to what he has to say. That much I can promise you, but no more.
I don't think he was expecting anything less. At least he's willing to listen.
Does Gustav have the right of it? Did Erhard wield his sword for the sake of revenge?
It's very plausible.
If so, does he still wield it, even though the thirst for vengeance has been sated?
A lot of times, you'll see these people who have revenge and they have to look for another vengeance, possibly. Because otherwise they just kind of break down and do nothing. A lot of them do break down and do nothing, but you know, a lot of times, other times they're like, well, maybe I need to find someone else to take. Maybe there's a bigger problem at hand and I need to take care of that too.
Could it be that we are the same? Has Erhard too lost his purpose?
To the banter.
Interesting.
An old friend, eh? Einhard, I called him friend once upon a time. But in the day he struck down our king. And you still want to see him again? I would speak to him. There is something I need to know. You think the meeting will give you a closure? What happens if you don't like the answer you get? Are you sure you're not doing this for your own self-satisfaction? Perhaps you are right. But I must see him, if I am to put the past behind me. I won't try to stop you. In fact, I'll stick around to see how this one unfolds. Be my guest. All right. I don't think. Let's just see what this is. Let's see this here.
Hey! Where are you running off to?
What does it matter? The tourney is over. Our bargain is concluded.
that doesn't mean we can't bid each other Godspeed.
Phew, got you in the nick of time. We won't let you go sneaking away without so much as a fare thee well.
Seeing us off. Yes, that's very, very good, I guess.
Of course. Pray forgive my manners. I could not have gotten this far without you. Both of you. You have my thanks.
And you have ours. So, if I can be so bold, where are you off to next?
Wellspring.
The Sunlands. A town called Wellspring.
I've visited there before. I'm not sure.
To finish what I started here.
And then?
I don't know. Perhaps I'll return to the village I came from before here.
Well, if you've already got a place to call home, then maybe this means nothing. But if you're looking for a new line of work, you could do worse than being a full-time champion.
The offer is welcome, but it's not the life for me.
You don't even know that. You don't even know that yet, Ulbrich. You don't even know what you wield your blade for. Maybe it is the life for you. You could be a champion forever.
Might say that, but I had to ask, huh?
If you ever have a change of heart, just drop on by. Or even if you don't, you'll always be welcome here.
Thank you, friend. I may do just that. In the meantime, take care of those wounds.
Don't you worry about me. I'll be fighting fit soon enough, and ready to give a good showing at next year's tourney.
A good showing? Now there's an inspiring goal. If you want to stick around in my stable, I'll see you claim the throne.
Oi, oi! One step at a time, me lady. I ain't the unbending blade of Hornburg after all.
A title and a crest do not a swordsman make.
Well, sometimes it does. I mean, if you have a title and a crest, maybe you can seek further ways of sharpening your blade farther. I mean, sometimes, this happens in Wuxias a lot. You get a title, or a crest, whatever, and then you can move on to the larger stage after that. So right now he's just a victor of a village, or a city. And then he becomes a victor of a state. He becomes a victor of a country. And then he becomes a victor of several countries. And then he becomes a victor of possibly the world. And then the universe. Ah. I doubt it, though.
Aye, true enough. Maybe I will go and win it all. See what the betters will say about that. Tell you what, if they crown Ned king, you come back and we'll put on a duel the likes of which the city's never seen.
I'd like that very much. But today, the road calls. Till our paths cross again, my friends.
Fairly well. And so did Ulbrich leave Victor's Hollow behind him, with new knowledge of Einhardt's past and present. Now Ulbrich must find Einhardt and, God willing, the truth, even if it means crossing blades with his erstwhile friend, and so to the Sunlands and desert oasis of Wellspring. Ulbrich's journey continues. Alright, that's the end of that one. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. I hope you have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
人が手を差し伸べてるからここで約束しよう桜の下でみんな